you made it, huh?
Man, listen, this is hard to get out of Cleveland. Yeah. Listen, I know I don't really like Cleveland like that.
Nah, you needed a pivot.
Man, listen, I need to drink one right now, because, yeah, that Cleveland airport is...
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On a mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
Well, man, listen, it's been a while since we sat down and did a three-man, bro. Pivot three-man Tuesday at that. Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor, and Ryan Clark. Pivot fam, thank y'all for pivoting with us. You know, Chan, man, I guess there really ain't nowhere to start but here. Ciara was on the Breakfast Club.
Man, Charlamagne.
Charlamagne being petty. Charlamagne was being messy.
Yeah.
And even when she was answering the question, she was like who? And he said, Channing Crowder.
He should have. Because I saw it, I did, and I saw answer. And then she want to go back to, but he's a loving person and a great husband. I didn't say he's not a great husband. It's amazing what he's doing with Lil Future. Like, the dude is a good human. He is lame still. I don't know if anybody doesn't understand. They're not running me off of this point. Lame is an opinion. She even said it. So who's saying? Because that's their opinion. Yeah. She's from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. She wasn't going to date Russ back in 2000.
Evolution,
Time came
though.
forward. She evolved to dating the
Evolution.
lame dude. He is a good person, a good human being, but the dude is lame. Y'all know what lame is. Bro, you know how many people, I'm not putting nobody else in my boat because I'm peddling this by myself. I've talked to a number of people that's like, bro, you're right. He's not like that. He's inner city Atlanta dude is not hanging out with Russell Wilson. That's what I'm saying. It's lame. The dude does not, he got that moose shit in his hair. Honestly, bro, y'all looking around because y'all even know I'm right. The dude is not a cool person, but that's my opinion.
Right.
You go find the boys that play at Wisconsin and Nebraska, they'll hang out with us. A dude from inner city Atlanta is not hanging out with Russell Wilson. That's what I say. Lame to me is different than lame to y'all, is different than lame to, I guarantee him and Logan Mankins would get along. You see what y'all understand what I'm saying? I guarantee him and some square-ass dude from somewhere would get along. I'm looking at him and saying, man, I never with him, he's lame. That's my point. It's opinion, lame, cool's opinion, and y'all ain't running me off of this forever.
No, I'm not trying to run you off it. Obviously, your opinion is yours. I didn't expect you to double down on it, but...
What you want me to do? Say, oh, he's cool now.
No,
it's in his blood, it's in his kidneys, his liver, his gallbladder, his intestines. Lame is all through him, and it's gonna be there his whole life, Freddie.
I'm gonna say this. So you have culture, right? Society, and then there's a box. Then you have what's considered social norms. He's not in there in a lot of people's opinion, which is for you.
Yeah.
So when I look at, I have a son who's on the spectrum, right? And he's not what you might consider socially acceptable all the time because he's a bit socially awkward. That doesn't make him corny or lame. What I learned to lead with is, as a parent, I want to direct my thoughts or reserve my thoughts towards people by how I view my children. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Before I say something about a person, I'm gonna always say, what if that was my child? Then I can make an opinion on that. I told you last time, the first time that whole thing came out, when the corny thing came out about Russ, when we first did it, that wasn't the intent to go viral for saying it. What I said was, I think Russ is cool. He's not us. Like, he's not gonna be hanging out in the clubs with us. That's just me. I know a lot of guys ain't gonna go and go where I go or do the things I do, right? That doesn't mean he's corny.
He wears white drawers, the little tight ones. That's just, he's not, I'm not fooling with that. From where I come from, I'm not fooling with that dude.
Yeah, so I think for me, first off, hearing Charlamagne say your name when referencing Russell Wilson was a little stunning, but that's what they do, you know, on the show. I thought Ciara handled it like a woman and with a ton of class. She didn't want to get into name calling.
Right.
And as far as the Russell Wilson piece, I believe Doug Baldwin, Mike Robb, and Marshawn just had a conversation, and they talked about Hawaiian shirts and flood waters or whatever it might be. And there is the time, especially in our culture, where some of those things aren't cool. And cool is a big thing to us because we got some cool mother effers in our culture, right? And that's part of kind of all you have. I think where I felt things went left was when DJ Envy brought up because he loves his wife or because he loves his children. The coolest thing about Russell Wilson is the way he loves his family. One of the coolest things and most honorable things any man, any woman can do is take care of a child that's not theirs. We got an opportunity to meet Future at Pittsburgh camp. I got an opportunity to meet him at the Pro Bowl, and there is no difference between that child and the children that Russell Wilson and Ciara made together. And to me, there is a certain point where we just have to start focusing on who people are and how they live life. As far as me, the way he lives life, the way he takes care of his wife, the way he takes care of his children, the way he has raised another man's children, that child, that's always going to be cool to me. That's always going to be something that us as a show will continue to keep off limits and that we won't get into, because I'm never attacking a way that a man lives his life based on his family when he's doing it the right way as anything but honorable. And so I think when I look back at that moment that made us go viral, what we didn't do was give people the entire context of who he was.
Right.
And we do have to be careful when having conversations about couples and how one person's reality is different from our perception. And so I think, you know, if we had to do it again, I would do it differently, which is why I did it differently here. I think it also brings to the point kind of what Ray Lewis said about Shannon Sharpe. Right? Ray Lewis went into the Shannon Sharpe thing saying that Shannon's changed. He wasn't a drinker. He wasn't a smoker. Now his content, where it's gotten into how podcasts are sort of people talking about relationship. Everybody's a relationship expert. I thought that was very interesting from a person who knows Shannon very well.
Yeah, that's the only thing I got from it is that they've had a relationship for so long, and the things he said aren't fabricated. Because obviously they're really good friends and teammates, and he knows who Shannon is. Before all of the camera stuff, sometimes people can get cameras in front of them and change, do a complete 180. So I never knew like Shannon personally prior to the podcast. I just knew him as a player, right? So I can't double down for Ray and say whether it's true or not, but you know, Ray doesn't do a lot. So when he speak, you know, it's gonna actually travel. Now, I don't know, man. Ray tries to live his life a certain way. And, you know, I do know he's always trying to be positive. He always tries to speak from a spiritual point of view and always try and lead like children in the next generation in the right direction. And that's his calling. You know, when I get a chance to speak to him, he's like, man, I don't want to. We've tried to invite him on this show several times, and his hesitation is drama. He doesn't know what the outcome is going to be, but the outcome he gets from all the other shows is another reason why he hasn't accepted, you know, our invite. But eventually, hopefully, it'll happen at some point. But yeah, it was surprising to hear the comments because I thought they were super tight. But obviously, his main line in that interview was that, you know, he chose that lane, and that ain't a lane I'm trying to run down.
Yeah, we've seen it. We didn't even talk about it. That football fame and that media fame is different. Your ass is crazy famous.
I don't want to be.
You're now compared to football,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fred, motherfucker thought you died. That nigga went in the lake. He laid down in the dirty ass lake up there in Belgrade.
The lake ain't dirty.
But it does. But I'm messing around. But it gets to people, and I think it got to Shannon. I think that next hit, because he was Sterling's little brother with the lisp. That's what I called him. I called him, oh, that's Sterling Sharpe, little brother with the list, because he talked with a heavy tone. He even got a tongue reduction because he started talking better. But bro, that next hit, Shannon Sharpe is more famous than he's ever been in his life right now. And I think it gets to some. You see the people that get to it, and I think it got to him. And I think Ray was speaking on that. Was that, like you said, but no, Shannon was just under the radar, hard-working dude. And I think that media spike got to him, and then people can't deal with it sometimes. So you're a Hall of Fame player, but then people outside of sports know you. That's what happened to it. I was traveling today, we were laughing about it. Why do people in Cleveland run up to me? Damn, man, tell Freddie I said, what's up? Yes, sir, yes, sir. Like, it's a different type of fame when you're on this level, and I think it got to Shannon. Man, I hope he get out of there and, you know, the little girl and all the money he lost, you know, that's what I'm mad about. He fumbled the bag. Damn, you fumbled that bag? I wish I had that bag to fumble.
Yeah, I think Ray Lewis, though, fell victim to the exact same thing he ended up sort of condemning by the time he was finished talking about Shannon Sharpe. I don't know what their relationship was, right? And so when you have a relationship, sometimes there are things that go on personally that make you view a person different. But I think the one thing that Ray Lewis should understand more than any of us is grace and redemption, right? Ray Lewis went through something extremely public that could have ruined him as a player and as a person. And now people have allowed Ray to grow far enough away from that to where they do see him as a spiritual leader, to where they do see him as a leader of men. And so when he's speaking on that platform in that manner about Shannon Sharpe, one, in order to accept his words, we had to accept him and forgive whatever transgressions people felt took him away from being the Ray Lewis they knew at that time and allow him to grow back into it. And so I think he has to think about that as well. And as far as like any money or any fame, like money doesn't change people. It only enhances your desires and who you are. And the thing you got to do when you're looking at entertainment, right? Because this is entertainment, is do I want to become a caricature of myself? And if my priority is money, what am I willing to give up in order to get money? Am I willing to give up my integrity? Am I willing to give up my character? Am I willing to turn into something different to get the money, right? And it's like some people rather lose as themselves than win as something else. Some people just want to win at all costs. And I'm not saying that Shannon has done that. All I'm saying is we actually don't know, right? And so when you're speaking on who somebody is from personal experience, Ray can do that. I can't. You know, all I know is when I've been around him, he's been good to me. I know he's picked up the phone and hollered at me. He's definitely done things that I disagree with, things that I wouldn't choose or do for myself. But it's also not on me to condemn him in the manner that now people have to look at my past and say, okay, is this somebody that should be saying those things? And I think for Ray, it is a situation of like, if that's supposed to be your guy, if you are living in the way that Christ has led you, right? Where is that grace? Where is that compassion? And so I think, you know, you got to look at it from so many different angles. And, you know, like it brings me to something different is we got grace or condemnation for Arch Manning's play.
Oh, boy.
He looked great.
Who?
Arch didn't look great.
Hey, fella, is Arch like Eli? Look how he look.
Seventh grade Eli. Man, the expectations, his granddaddy's a Hall of Famer. Both his uncles gonna be Hall of Famers. He Cooper's boy. Cooper got hurt or whatever. They say Cooper could ball.
Cooper was extremely athletic. He's the most athletic of them all.
Arch is set up to fail. 2 generations of Hall of Famers in his family, and now they throwing this little boy in the game. Quinn Ewers beat him out last year. I'm watching Quinn Ewers play right now. If he can beat Arch Manning, shit. What is Arch Manning? Bro, I think Arch can play ball, but the expectations on him and the money they're giving that boy, because his last name's Manning, is too big for him, bro. He's going to figure it out. I've seen him play better, and now you see all the breakdown and sidearm and blah, 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 all that goofy stuff. He's never going to be either one of his uncles, and that's what people are comparing him to. Or he ain't going to be his damn granddaddy. He's not. New Orleans is about to tank to get him and put him in more pressure when they want him to be his granddaddy. Bro, the man is set up to fail, man. I'm not lying to y'all. Watch what happens.
When they talk about generations, right? Especially financially, by the time they get to like the third or fourth generation, ain't no money left, right? I don't know if the Manning mystique is gonna be, or how much of the Manning mystique is gonna be there for Arch, but I will say one thing, I do wanna give him grace. It's week one. With all those expectations, right? The amount of money he's making, the last name, Texas, you know, people expect this to be the Texas season. I don't think they asked to be number one. Right? Then you have Ohio State, the team that won it all last year. In week one, they not slouches. They won it all for a reason. They brought back a lot of guys. They still deep. They recruited well. They pay people a ton of money. So Texas, when it's the big games, the big games, Texas had not really performed up to the standards of those big time games, in my opinion. They played well a year ago, right? They missed out. You know, the big teams that were supposed to be in it at the end, they earned it, they were there. And Texas wasn't one of them. So I do want to give Arch grace and say it's just week one against a very dominant opponent. And I want to see how his season goes before I actually go out there and try to evaluate and judge him. I thought the two big interceptions, those were awful, right? Mm-hmm. Ohio State made plays, those are awful. But overall, as a team, I believe Texas might have something, because it wasn't a blowout. It was a pretty good game, but as far as Arch, well, you know, the jury's still out.
The problem with Arch Manning is more so other people than him. He didn't ask for these expectations. Other people gave him these expectations without doing their due diligence. Arch Manning, period, point blank, is neither a generational nor transcendent talent. Arch Manning can't run like Lenora Sellers. He can't throw like Garrett Nussmeier or Bryce Underwood. He's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not Caleb Williams. Those guys were what people felt like were generational, can't miss college quarterbacks, right? College football talents. And they were. You want me to explain to you how they were? Kelly Bryant was the quarterback when Trevor Lawrence got to Clemson. They went to the college football playoff semifinal. Kelly Bryant ended up finishing his career in Missouri because he was replaced in the middle of the year by Trevor Lawrence because he's a transcendent talent. Yeah. Caleb Williams goes into Oklahoma, and Spencer Rattler, at least at the time, who's the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints right now, was the starting quarterback, presumptive #1 overall pick, and Heisman frontrunner. By the middle of the season, he was on the bench too and headed to South Carolina because Caleb Williams is a transcendent talent, a generational talent. Arch Manning sat 2 years behind Quinn Ewers, who was a 7th round pick. And not only did he sit behind him, Quinn got hurt, Arch played, and they put Quinn back in the game. And his last name is Manning. You don't do that for somebody who's gonna be the 1st overall pick, gonna win the Heisman as a junior, is gonna leave school and be the dude that everybody expects him to be. Here's the other thing, I'm from New Orleans, right? I know what Newman High School football looks like. They don't play anybody. In his last high school game, his team got blown out. People who are going to go on to wear gold jackets and go on to be starters in college right away don't lose in small school football by getting blown out by people who don't have any pros on their team. It just don't happen at that position. Bryce Underwood goes to Michigan. He starts the day he walks in because he's a generational, transcendent talent. So here's what we need to do. We got to let Arch be. We got to let Arch go play. I think he's going to be a good football player. For the next 3 games, they play people that they're going to have to pay $2 million to come to Texas and play. And he's going to blow them out, and he's going to play really well, and then we're going to get all excited until he goes to Florida, and then we'll see. But for me, it was what everybody else was saying about him. And here's the thing that Trevor Lawrence did and Caleb Williams did to prove and let you know who they were. The Bryce Youngs, the C.J. Strouds, the Trevors, the Justin Fields, all of them earned their stripes standing next to the other best quarterbacks in the world on the camp circuit. He never went. He never competed. He never stood toe-to-toe with him. He wasn't like C.J. Stroud that had to look at Bryce Young and say, I'm about to show you why I should be the Elite 11 MVP. He never did none of those things. So when you stand across from Ohio State, that's the first time you ever looked at some real dudes and said, I got to go compete and win. That's tough.
But he got that Manning, that long Manning face. He got that big face with the long temples.
What does that have to do with football?
I don't know, but you can tell a Manning when you see one, because they got that little funny, that little cartoon head.
Football is here, and Toyota, bro, they are all in all season. It's a whole nother season of big-time game day giveaways, and they're the official automotive partner of the NFL, and so they are ready to reward fans.
You say all season?
All season.
All in, all season. 22 weeks, 22 chances to win.
Man, Toyota, I love it. They done dove into football this season. My man Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, slinging that thing. He just partnered with Toyota.
And all you have to do is be ready to predict the big plays that can happen in the second half of Sunday night football games, and you can win big prizes.
Hey, it's all types of prizes. You can win NFL shop merch, gift cards, and you can even win Brock Purdy Sequoia.
Head over to toyota.com/NFL to learn more. That's toyota.com/NFL.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends on February 8th, 2026. Open to legal residents of the 50 U.S. states and D.C. 18 and over. For complete details, how to enter, prizes, and official rules, visit www.toyotasgamedaygiveaways.com.
You know what's, I think, even, and a lot of people have been tweeting about it, I hate that it's now become like
Shador
versus everybody and all that. But that's probably the last time we anticipated the first game of a junior quarterbacks, right? A quarterback with lineage or pedigree anticipated their first start like that. Shador against a lesser talent was on the road against TCU and he went crazy. Obviously Arch had a tougher opponent. It didn't go as well. But to me, the Sanders family, bro, is going through it right now. You know, Deion dealing with his health. Shiloh puts out a statement, you know, and it always hurts me when so young, which he does, when so young you have to go to, I can do a lot of other things, right? And then also Shador is now third on the depth chart in Cleveland. What do you kind of think about what the Sanders family is dealing with right now as a whole?
Man, it got to me seeing Deion tear up. This is the first time that none of his sons ran out with him on the field. And you saw it like that was a comfort level. That's Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? That's prime time. I had his shoes. I wore his shoes when we played on turf. Man, I was in high school. Like, that's Deion. And just seeing that, having sons now, so that got to me emotionally. But it's like we talk about Shiloh and Shador. I speak on both of them. I watched the games. Shador Sanders is about to be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns here coming up in a month or two. Joe Flacco is 716 years old. Joe's on inside the NFL stuff. Joe's a cool dude. Joe's my dad's age. Joe about to go out. The other little itty bitty boy, what's his name? Dylan Gabriel, the little tiny boy, no chance. Shador's about to lead the Cleveland Browns. That's what it's gonna do. Shiloh, very nice kid. Met him, been around him, we've been up there with them and all. Evaluation of football players, he misses a lot of tackles, and he's really not a man-to-man coverage guy. That's not a thing that works in the league. And emotionally, knowing Prime and knowing that, like, I can watch the games and say Shiloh can't play at this level. I hope somebody gives him a chance. He probably will get another chance because Deion's your dad. And it's like Bronny. Bronny's sitting on the end of the bench with LeBron because LeBron's his dad. Shiloh might get another shot because Deion's your dad. Y'all can't play professional football. Honest, and listen, the Deion, the Sanders family, I love them. Bucky, my man, all of them, like they're good. There are some people that can't play at that level. That's why they call it the 1% of the 1%.
Right.
Shador is special. Shiloh saw that he wasn't. And that's what happened on that with the Sanders family. But Deion breaking down, Deion tearing up, that got to me as a father because, you know, I'd be in the garage working out with LaChan and all that now, and it made me think, like, damn, at some point, D-Waite's about to get dusty because I'm not coming out here by myself.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing out here if Lil Chan ain't here. And then Chad's gonna come through. And I'm really not going back out here. We might well burn these motherfuckers up if there's no kids in the house. So it made me even think about that, where I'm working out now because of my children. And Deion, for it to hit Deion like that got to me because I got my 3 kids.
Talking about Prime, his health was something he was just dealing with. You talking about the draft, talking about his health. He hasn't had time to really compartmentalize that moment, prior to that moment. So I believe it kind of caught him off guard. And the young receiver who said, let's take the walk, I'm sure all of that just weighed on him at that very moment, which led to the tears, right? But such an amazing tradition for him to be able to share and spend with his kids, during their time there in Colorado. So I believe that, it just was a moment that I loved. I love every piece of it. I think going forward, he's gonna be able to say, all right, I get to think about my boys when it's time to go out and think about all the memories that happened, but there's a job at hand, right? Because somebody at some point during the game forgot that it was a job at hand because they were supposed to call them damn timeout. But that's a whole nother story,
They left with
right?
2 of them.
They left with 2 of them. But it was just a beautiful moment, man, just to see Prime show his vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
As a coach and as a dad. Now, I disagree with you on Shiloh. I think Shiloh is certainly a guy who should have made that Tampa squad. You can't do those things that he did in preseason. When you're borderline like that, young players, when you're borderline, teams don't need those distractions. They don't need the headaches. And granted, the amount of money he was fined, which was like $5,000 or whatever, he didn't make that the entire preseason. Now he's in debt with the NFL. But you can't make those type of in-the-moment type decisions and fight, right? So I think that kind of helped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' decision to go ahead and cut him and say, all right, this is an example that we don't want to deal with. But I think he's going to be back in the league somewhere, my opinion. Totally no, don't interrupt me. It's my opinion. Shador, to be able to be on that roster as a 3rd quarterback, he has an opportunity. That's the only thing you can ask for in the NFL is opportunity. RC doesn't seem to believe what you said about him being a starter this season, unless certain things align for him.
Things got to happen.
But, he has an opportunity. And just because he's 3rd now doesn't always mean he's gonna be 3rd the entirety of the season. He could be 1, like you said, or he could possibly not be on the team. Things gotta happen. But he has to continue to keep his faith. He has to study, double down on that, and show up as he's always showing up. Don't flinch. That's the one thing I love about the kid is he hasn't flinched throughout this entire process. From the expectations in college, he's been calm, cool. He knows who he is. He knows the last name on his back. And that's what I respect the most about Shador, about Shiloh, and also about Prime. They know who they are. They don't waver away from it. They're ready for any challenge. Whatever the expectations are, I think they're always aligned and ready to double down to show you that we're cut from a different cloth. This is what we're made of, and we're gonna always show up.
Yeah, when I think of what the Sanders family is dealing with now, I think of Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have set for you, declared the Lord. Plans to prosper and not hurt you. Plans for hope in the future. That's what they have to believe in right now. Prime always talks about faith, and we obviously saw that he felt like he was blessed to even have an opportunity to go back and coach those boys. When I looked at him and Isaiah Harge walking together, here's what I thought. For the first time, he's not grabbing his boys to walk and have a conversation to lead them. Somebody's grabbing him to take care of him in an emotional time where he doesn't have his boys. And what that brought to my mind was lack of control. He has always controlled what is going on in their lives. He was their high school coach. Shiloh left South Carolina to come play for him. Obviously, Shador goes to Jackson State, then Colorado. The draft was the first time that not only did he have to accept that, but the world showed it. You can't get Shiloh drafted at all. You can't get Shador drafted where you believe he should go. And then now you saw more of it. Shador fighting as hard as he can, playing well against Carolina, not playing as well in the last preseason game, even though some things were stacked against him. Now you end up being third. How are you going to respond? Shiloh, I don't know if the film said you should have made it or not. But what you can't do is give people a reason.
Right.
He gave them a reason. Now, how are you going to respond? With the preparation that these young men have had, I don't think it even matters how well they play. It matters how well they live. What sort of way they show up at work if you're Shador? What sort of way do you show up in life if you're Shiloh? When do you get that next opportunity? What do you do with it? And so for me, it's saying, is everything that Deion has lived and preached his entire life truly instilled in him and his boys? And I think if they can do that and they can believe that God has a plan, they have to remember you don't get to write your plans in pen. Only God does. And I think that's going to be huge for them going forward.
But I don't even want to say this, Fred and Ryan, because I know younger players watch this. Y'all know this is performance-based. Y'all play with some wild boys. If you can play ball, like Shiloh slapping people, what if that was Mika Fitzpatrick? What if that was Gardner Johnson? You're a starting safety. They can fight, and they're not getting cut because they can play at a very high level, Fred. That's what you do, and that's where your judge is on that film, to be honest.
They have no leverage. He has no leverage.
It's also
Because he's not that
But here's the
good.
thing, though. It's also why I said I don't know if the film said you could have made it. You don't give him a reason, right? Because it could have been that he was going to be cut anyway, right? I don't want to be at my house thinking to myself, is that why?
Right.
I want to know I got cut because I wasn't good enough. I got cut because the numbers weren't in my favor. I got cut because my film wasn't hot enough. I don't want that feeling. And my other problem with it too is the entire world thinks that's why, when you are right. If you go out and you play at a certain level, then that does not matter. But this is where we are, which is why I say you can't give them anything. You can't give them a crack. And you know too, people will attack you. Man, the season is here, man, and I can't wait to see all these dudes with all this stamina, whether you're playing both ways like Travis Hunter or you a speed demon like Jahmyr Gibbs. You need to keep the body nourished. The same way Kachava does. It's a whole body shake. It nourishes you through and through. And they got the new strawberry flavor with freeze-dried strawberries. Check that
Give me
out.
that strawberry, man. Check it. This strawberry been getting me through the last 2 months. Y'all was laughing at me about the weight that I've lost, but this Kachava, man, I'm telling you, it's been a lifesaver. No fast food, just fast protein shakes. And look, 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, 85 plus superfood and nutrients. Come on, man. It's a win-win. So as a former athlete, you got to make sure you maintain your discipline. Kachava helped me do that.
Hey, me too, brother. For me, this is the easiest way to nourish my body. And you know what? I was thinking to myself, plant-based, I mean, it is spectacular. 2 scoops of this, get my shake ready, and I'm ready to roll.
Man, y'all talking about this strawberry makes me want to try this thing and try to get my sexy back a little bit. Man, I'm going to try this old strawberry.
You've never tasted strawberry like this. Go to Kachava.com, code PIVOT for 15% off your order. That's right, it's Kachava, Kachava.com, code PIVOT for 15% off your order right now. You've never tasted strawberry like this. I mean, Taylor Townsend has been balling. I know Ava used to play tennis and, like, she's been balling, but, she gets attacked. She's playing Yelena, Ostapenko.
You know I can't.
Yeah, let me before I mess it up.
It depends on you, RC.
Yeah, I know.
Ostapenko.
Yeah, I was actually right.
I saw the
That is,
video.
yeah. She was actually playing Yelena Ostapenko, and she called her uneducated. And then Taylor kind of responded afterwards and told the reporter, she called me classless, uneducated, and it kind of sparked this debate on. Some of it was talked about racial bias and racism and discrimination, but also the criticism Taylor Townsend has received about her weight, her looks, all those things. And now to have to deal with this, what are some of your thoughts on kind of what her U.S. Open has revealed to the world or taught you?
I mean, I look at it like, you know, in the NBA, you have fans that come to the game and, you know, they're talking about people's families, they're being disrespectful in the stands, they're calling players out their name. Same thing in the NFL. We have not seen this in tennis. I don't believe. I don't recall seeing it in tennis. And I believe everything that's on the court should be left on the court. None should really ever carry off, right? But this is society. You know, it's always been there. Whether we've seen it, you know, up close or not, it's always been there. And our society here in the States is different than people in other places, internationally or abroad. Those comments were certainly uncalled for. But again, I think those players, they got to understand when it's fiery competition, things are going to be said, but things like that should never be allowed. And then to also double down on that, you don't talk about the lady's weight. You know, she's doing things that only 1% of people in the world can do. To be able to make it to that level, on that stage, half the people out there that's talking trash, they don't deserve to, but it's normalized. That's what people do. They pick on anything, and they don't stand for anything, right? So, Taylor, man, just keep grinding. You know, realize that you're fulfilling and living your dream, regardless of what people say, think. You know, continue to move forward. Screw them. It's simple for me. Just forget about them. Keep grinding.
Yeah, I would say, because Ava did play. She was homeschooled for a while playing tennis. That gentle lady stuff, like, it's 2025. Like, don't cheer for a missed point, but you can cheer for an ace. You couldn't get to that damn ball, little girl. Like, I would clap, and people be like, no, you can't cheer, because, no, shit, that was a great shot by my daughter. I think they go overboard with that gentle lady game stuff, too. Now, being there, because that's game, they playing that shit since 1871 or something. I don't know when it was. But I do think the cultural differences is what it is. And I don't want to say everybody wants to jump to racism. I don't think it's racism. I think it's differences in culture. You're not, like, she wanted to, you know, Taylor was wide open, flexing and all. They don't do that wherever. It's a Blinkies one. What's his name? It's a Sapo. Ostapinko. They probably don't do that. They probably don't celebrate. They're not like that where it's from. So I agree with you. Cultures are different, but then you're supposed to get on this court and put everything out and just play in these lines of what it's been since the 1400s or whatever. That's unrealistic with the tennis, what people want tennis to be. And that's what it was. I don't really think it was racist. I think that girl, like, uneducated.
She said that in her apology, actually.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is she uneducated? You don't know her schooling. You have no class, but I celebrate when I make a play.
She said it was about a warm-up. She said she warmed up the wrong way.
I don't know how you like to warm up, Issa Blanco. I don't know how. Like, it's tennis, bro. I swear to God, I was in it for years. The whole setup is goofy, and now you got people flying from all around the world. Warm up. I'm serving now. Don't return my serves. Well, I want to get ready to return. They don't have these conversations. I'm about to try to whoop your ass. You about to try to whoop my ass. Yeah. And now we have to talk about it like gentlemen and gentlewomen. I think that concept, I honestly believe the tennis, whatever that is, the tennis culture, bro, I was a part of it, and I hated it every step of the way.
I think the thing is, it seems like Taylor Townsend has been sort of the recipient of these criticisms and these treatments more than other people. And when you say a black woman is uneducated, that's not something new for black women to hear. It's not something new for our communities to hear. And it's not one of those things that screams overt racism, right? But it does scream racial bias, right? It does scream demeaning. It does scream devaluing, right? And if you want to say there was a lack of professional class or sportsmanship based on the way somebody warmed up, that's one thing. But to immediately go to somebody being uneducated, especially for an African-American woman, that's way too close to the way that you're characterized so many times and demeaned in our own country. Now, I don't know what Ostapenko is used to in Latvia, wherever she's from. But here, that's not something you do. And then you think about Taylor Townsend as well when people speak about her weight or her look. Listen, this is the first woman ever that reached #1 in doubles after having a child. That's an accomplishment. The way she played throughout this tournament, that's an accomplishment. And she talked about her son, AJ, saying, you know what, Mom? It's okay. And she was talking about losing, and she was like, that's the sort of joy I'm trying to embody. And I love the fact that she smiled at the post-match interview. I love the fact that she had joy, because she deserves to. And it also speaks to why representation is important, why Althea Gibson was important, why Venus and Serena Williams are important, Coco Gauff, Naomi Osaka, because we need to be able to see these women excel and also be able to watch them deal with the adversities publicly that so many black women deal with privately. So many black women don't get to say out loud. And so I thought for me to watch her, the way she played, and not only the way she played, but the way she handled adversity, the way she was strong in what she felt, strong in what she believed. And then even, as they often do, she showed Yelena grace when she apologized. And so I thought it was just an overall great display of class for Taylor Townsend and athleticism when you look at the way, she was able to play.
Channing, RC, now this is a pivot. This is a crazy pivot. You seen the OnlyFans model who's talking about she needs $1,000 deposit?
That was a joke, in fairness.
It was?
She said it was a joke. She said she was she said afterwards, she said she was trying to defend women against broke men. Huh? It was a joke.
That
Your
ain't
ass
a joke.
is broke.
A joke?
Sasha, her name is, Sasha Vickery is her name. And
Tennis, right?
tennis, yeah, she plays tennis. She was in the US Open for a little bit.
It was her net worth, because she want to call people broke. That's my thing. Now, men, we're all rich. So I'm just fighting for men.
And that's not
He
true.
broke, he's broke, he's broke. Your ass is broke too. Get broke together so both of y'all rub y'all pennies together, and now y'all can make a baby dime. I hate that when they be like, oh, what are you gonna do for me? What you gonna do for him? Because no, you want equality. Everybody wants equality. But the man's supposed to be rich. And your ass wear the same drawers every day, gotta wash them every night. That's what upsets me. Now, if you let me know this she got bread, so if you walk in.
Her entire time on the tour, she's earned $2 million.
And so she had to pay taxes on that. Where's she from? I do the math.
She probably just got standards. Maybe the $1,000.
Standards of what? You have the standards for yourself. Why do you need to watch my pockets?
So here's
Control yourself.
So here's what's crazy about it. What comes to mind though is like, if you really aren't great at tennis, you don't necessarily make a lot of money. Like the highest she's ever been is 73. And I'm not gonna lie, I went to her regular page because I was like, okay, is this something that she normally does? I mean, she's in bathing suits and all of these different things, and I'm sure that's how the OnlyFans content started. She was doing something with Nick Kyrgios, actually, right? And that's kind of how it started. And, if she's been playing tennis that long, bro, and she's only made $2 million overall with paying people to coach her and all that, she ain't got no money. Like she really doesn't. And if you go on OnlyFans and you get 6 figures in the first 3 months, like that money's intoxicating, right? Like it is why sometimes like you see strippers who over the hill, or you be trying to ask dude, hey man, like, are you gonna drug deal forever or are you gonna try to invest this money and get out of the game?
Right.
When you getting fast money, like when you getting cash, like it's hard to give that up. And now she has to be a part of like some code of conduct, right? So she can't do certain things on OnlyFans, but Paige Van Zandt did the same thing. She fight MMA. Liz Cambridge did the same thing. Say she would make way more money doing that than being in the WNBA. And so like, you can't be mad at them. If it's a way for them to make money, if it's something that's legal, then go ahead and do it. But I do think there's a part of it that it's like, all right, but I'm also supposed to take you seriously in your craft. And then when you make a joke about, oh, nah, you gotta pay me $1,000 deposit to go on a date, that sounds way too close to escort and prostitution.
Yeah.
right? When you already got an OnlyFans. And so you got to have the self-awareness that, yeah, you can ha-ha and kiki and hit me with the JK, the LOLs, and all the faces you want in the emojis. But I'm seeing OnlyFans, I'm hearing $1,000 for a deposit. Then the next question would be from a man, well, what do I get for that? And now we've gone into something totally different. And so I think you do have to be careful and walk a certain line with that, where we got to be respectful in the way that we talk about it, but we got to be real too. Like, there's some, hey, I think I look a certain way, I can make money doing this. How far are you willing to take it though? And you got to be able to toe that line.
Yeah, just real quick. Usually deposits go towards something, right?
Yeah.
The deposit, if I'm going out to a club, I need a deposit on the table. That deposit...
Give me some bottles.
It's gonna give me some bottles, so it goes towards whatever I spend the rest of the night.
Yeah.
That's just to get me in the door. So it does sound like escorting and all that different stuff. But maybe she had the Cracker Barrel playbook, where they was talking about changing the logo. And then they went back just to draw attention, free marketing. Maybe she just want people to come to her OnlyFans page. Who knows?
I done been to Cracker Barrel a lot of times, and those pancakes do not taste like racism to me.
They don't. The pancakes don't.
Hey,
They don't.
Do y'all know what could I get on OnlyFans?
Nothing.
Nothing, not $1, because you got to wash your booty to be on OnlyFans.
Nothing.
You
But what
cannot-
is it like? Is it a
People might
it's a
pull up and
nasty
see
site?
you.
It don't have to be. You could like actually go work out on OnlyFans and sell the content.
Like me and you.
like
if
y'all
me
can
and
take
you
y'all
go
shirts
fishing.
off.
I'm not going on OnlyFans, but me and you together.
Like if we go fishing. I have my shirt off and you have your shirt
I thought
off.
that was a secret
That could be
code.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans
So
nipples.
me and you take our shirts off
And fish.
together.
That could be OnlyFans.
And we'll get people, and they pay me monthly.
They probably wouldn't pay you based on your body count.
Why do y'all do this to me?
It's a subscription.
I mean, they're not gonna subscribe to what they can see when they go visit their daddy.
I see.
Okay, start of the season, fellas, because this is ridiculous. Start of the season, Freddie T. Is there a favorite game to start a season that you had, or what are your thoughts on a storyline this season, or what you were excited about? Just something as we kick off the NFL season.
Hey, look, man, y'all know I'm a homer. Duval. So we got a new coach, right? For me, I think the city of Jacksonville has been reinvigorated with, Liam coming to town with where Baselli is, seeing Trevor, in year 5 for Trevor, year 5, 6, 5. So we want to make sure Trevor is ready to do his thing, man, with a new coach, new D coordinator, new everything, right? New money being spent in the stadium. I'm just excited for the city, man. Hopefully this is the year. We've been waiting for some time, and I know it sounds generic, always you the homer. I'm serious. On the outside looking in, if it was something else, I would want to know what the Jaguars would be doing. And also, your team.
Yeah.
Your team might have the most media coverage the entirety of the season because people want to know you guys have had some drama, you've lost some big name players. They're saying Mike is on the hot seat. I don't know. I want to see what the Dolphins are going to do because we're here local. I get a lot of the news, so I pay attention to it. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm interested in these coach quarterback combinations, the new ones. The Pete Carroll and Geno, who was at Las Vegas. Interested to see, because Pete is Super Bowl champion now.
Yep.
Pete is Super Bowl champion. Vrabel and Drake May. I heard a lot of good stuff about
One
Drake
I just
May.
mentioned.
Yeah, and then
Liam and Trevor?
Yeah, because what Liam did with Baker.
I hate, bro, I would love when I was young to get them 13-10 games. That's over in football. You got to score 25 plus points.
Yeah.
So we got to see it. RC, I don't know if I'm still in it. I want him to adopt me. I know this, Mike Tomlin. For him to have Aaron Rodgers now with that defense and those weapons that they brought in, bro, the AFC is already loaded, and I really think Pittsburgh can run with all of them. So I'm interested to see what Mike T can do with A-Rod.
Man, you know why I'm excited, man? I think back to 2006 when we opened with the Miami Dolphins after winning the Super Bowl. And it made me think about, like, first games. Like, I remember going into that game, nobody was still talking to me. Like, I ain't had no friends. All I had was Tyrone Carter. And when the week started, Ben had to have an emergency appendectomy. Like, he walks in, he's like, oh, my stomach. So now Ben's out, so we rocking with Charlie Batch, right? The game's tight, everything's going on. And I remember, man, like the third quarter, Tyrone Carter sits next to me, man. He looks at me, he goes, "You deserve it. You deserve the spot. You deserve to earn it." And so like that was like the first time I actually felt like, damn, like somebody here wants me. Somebody here believes in me. And then I remember, man, the game's tight. Ronnie Brown scores 2 touchdowns. Charlie Batch drops back. I think Chan's over there. You know, you probably was talking stuff like, "Hey, throw at me." And we all know tight ends eat you up anyway. Heath Miller.
What happened again?
Heath Miller catches the, Heath Miller gets the post corner, 87 yards, scores the touchdown, but he actually stepped out of bounds. And so we kicking the field goal, Saban's waiting, Nick Saban throws the challenge flag. They don't get the challenge, ref walks over to him, he's like, "Man, I ain't see it, ain't nothing I can do for you." And then Peasy gets the pick, returns it 42 yards. Coach Cowher comes off the sideline. Coach Cowher's chin, he's like, "Oh, you mother." And then Peasy give him a kiss. Mwah! Get up off me and we win. That was the first time that I was like, holy shit, I'm a fucking Steeler. It was the coolest night ever, bro.
Wasn't very good for me.
Hey, you gotta live like that. All right, man, so I wanted to start something new. Since it's the Tuesday show, give us an opportunity to just share one thought if we want to. We don't have to. Just call it like a pivotal point, because I know people watch this for wisdom, for some shine a light or educate. And because we're talking about like actual topics and actual things, we don't sometimes get to do that. So I wanted to open up the floor to either one of you. If you have one, it could be fun, it could be serious, whatever you want.
I just came from Farrell, Pennsylvania. So Randy passed, we talked about it on the show already. He said, "Don't put me in no box." He said, "Cremate me and have a bunch of parties," was his request. So man, I just went to Farrell and talked to cousins I didn't know, teachers, his high school basketball coach gave me a bunch of pictures. He gave me a reel-to-reel. Where am I gonna play a reel-to-reel? I'm like, Coach Schultz, Schultz? Where did I put this at? Look, he had a reel-to-reel thing. But I heard so much stuff I wish I could have asked my dad about his side of the story. So like that whole thing, and I think I said it last time we talked, man, that thing like celebrate me when I'm alive, talk about me when I'm alive. Like I'm starting to feel that way. And I tell everybody in my family, my kids, my wife, sisters, I love you when I got the phone, and I've been slipping on it lately. I'm talking about every time, even, "Hey, I'm at the gas station, want something?" "No, I'm good. Love you, bye." And now, if it's not a long time, I started slipping on saying I love you every time. I wish I told my dad I loved him.
Damn.
The last time I talked to him. I really did. We walking out the house, I didn't know no different. Messing around with him, "Man, get your ass out of bed, it's noon. Man, fuck you, Chan. Hey, I'm going to work. Man, have a good day." That was our last conversation. I wish after that I said I love you, and he would have said it back. So that's
real. Man,
appreciate people while they're around. If you got stories to tell folks, tell them, but tell people you love them more than you should. I'm uncomfortably telling people I love them now.
I love that.
Yeah, I think I'm not there where you are. And I try to do it the best I can, you know, when I see and cross people. But in terms of something pivotal, I don't know, man. I think the last couple months, the last 2 months, actually, when I went on this journey to try to reclaim myself from a health standpoint, right? Just being mindful of trying to live for others, not just for myself. When I look at my children, I try and make sure that, or try to give myself a chance to be here for them. And we don't know, you know, life's journey, right? But you can give yourself a chance. And that's sort of what I started to do the last couple of months. I know we kind of joke and kid about, you know, me lifting weights or working out or losing weight and all that stuff. No, but serious, I wanted to be purposeful in things that I started to do, right? I wanted to start looking at impact and being an influence and trying to be an example on how I move. So it's been simple for me. I just try and keep those things in the forefront and try and move with a little bit more discipline without having a drink. I think for the first time in my life, I haven't gone 60 days without having a drink. And I feel good about it. right? And not to say I couldn't do it, but I just wanted to remind myself and show myself and tell myself that I could. You know, when I look at RC, in the last, I don't know, about 3 years or so.
3 years in a week.
You know what I'm saying? So those things, you know, I'm excited for your journey. And I know you don't have a set date on when you will drink or not drink. It's your journey and you've been feeling good and that's how I feel, right?
That's
so just having some purpose in that. And really this, when we talk about never too late to pivot, and this ain't a marketing pitch or no shit like that, no ad read. You know, I'm excited about this. And the fact that we have a community that has come out to show that they really support it, right? So we'll do more with it, I know. And yeah, man, I'm just excited where we are and the things that we're doing and what we've built. And the fact that we have people that truly, truly support, you know, our movement, man. So it's good.
Man, y'all made me feel bad because my pivotal point has nothing to do with anything serious.
What you got? What you got, brother?
For all the young brothers that are watching this, if Travis Kelce told you anything and she ain't never out your league, you just gotta get in the same stadium. Don't sit at your house and be like she too pretty or her job's too good or she ain't gonna want me because I don't make enough money, because that ain't true. If you gotta make a friendship bracelet, make a friendship bracelet. If she a barista at Starbucks, when you go order your cold brew, ask her, hey, while you're writing down Ryan on there, write your name. If you gotta go buy a flower, if you gotta invite her to brunch, if you gotta figure out something cool and some way to talk to her, do it. Maybe you ain't got a podcast. Maybe you ain't got 3 Super Bowls. Maybe you ain't finna be a future Hall of Famer, but you could be somebody. Cut your hair, get some nice clothes, put on some cologne, brush your teeth, and shoot your shot. The worst thing she could say is no. The best thing that could happen is you could marry the biggest pop star in the world and she's a billionaire and you get to be a kept man. All you gotta do is hit the weights, work out, go to concerts, and enjoy yourself. So just remember, she ain't out your league. You just gotta get in the same stadium. This been The Pivot.
I used to use Sugarfoot.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision, I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.